to the Going Executive Director Show. Our purpose is to show you our vision, skills, techniques, inspiration, motivation, and daily activities needed for you to build your solid, profitable business. Remember, this is our team's philosophy. This is not the MLM leadership show, so if you're waiting for that, that starts at noon. This is specific training for the company that Jeff and I are in, so you'll be able to get on that later. So for those of you who are on our team, let's get out a pen and paper and take lots of notes.
Antoinette's here. Hello. Brendan's here. What's happening? So today on the Going Executive Director Show, it's actually the end of the month. And if you've done things right in your business at the end of the month, the nice thing is everything is peaceful and everything's going to work out, but you're still helping others run for their goals. And it's a constant thing. I mean, it's kind of a blessing in disguise that inside of a company that we work with, that there are deadlines, because where there are no deadlines, what you'll end up finding is there are people who are doing nothing. There's always people doing nothing inside of companies, but unfortunately, a lot of companies don't necessarily have a deadline by which you have to cross a line. And the nice thing is when you do have that, you have something to run for every month, which can make it both frustrating and exciting. And the reason I say frustrating and exciting is if you don't understand how to run a business that is month to month, where the bills have to get paid the following month, a lot of people don't understand the whole sales game being month to month. But when you do start to understand that, you can start planning things in accordance to that deadline and helping people achieve. So month to month, you're able to ask things. Now, I'm going to give you kind of a little bit of background to how I learned how to do this, because this was not something that I was used to either. You know, I was used to going to school. Most people are used to going to school. Most people are used to getting a job. And, you know, the month of May is exactly like the month of April, slightly warmer. You know, there might be a couple holidays thrown in there. There might be a couple birthdays thrown in there. Johnette's here. Hello. But other than that, it's exactly the same as the month before, which would be exactly the same as June, exactly the same as July. You know, a lot of people live their life sort of like Groundhog Day, where it's the same. Inside of a business, especially like this, you know, and this is specific to our company, Legal Shield, is you do have every single month, the clock is ticking. And it basically counts down to the end of the month. For those people who are trying to hit levels in our company and trying to achieve bigger goals, you want to keep track of that month, and you want to keep track of the activity, and you want to keep track of the volume. So that's basically what I started doing. Now, I've always kept track of the people that I've actually shown. So a lot of people are like, well, I don't know what to track, and I don't know how to manage my time, is what people say. I'm just not a good time manager. And I'll be real honest, I'm a horrible time manager. Like, that's not something I'm really good at. But what I am good at is I'm good at prioritizing what absolutely positively has to get done today. What I liked about Tony Robbins' message, he teaches a lot of things, but what I like about one of his specific messages is his RPM system, results-oriented, purpose-driven, massive action. Results-oriented. He's like, your objective isn't to spend 4 hours on your business. If you have 4 hours, that's great that you can spend on your business. If you have 2 hours that you can spend on your business, that's great. If you have 30 minutes to spend on your business, that's great too. The result is what do you want the result to be of? Like, what is the purpose? What is the purpose? What are you trying to gain out of that 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, 4 hours each day? What are you trying to get done? A lot of people have the time, and they're opening up that door to the time, but they're just not getting the most effective possible thing done. What is the most effective possible thing you can get done in 30 minutes, in an hour, in 2 hours, in 3 hours, in 4 hours? The most effective possible thing you can get done is presenting to a new person. So I'm not crazy about working my business a certain number of hours. That's not what I'm trying to accomplish. But I am insanely crazy about presenting to a new person each day. What I found is the more people that I present to each day, the better off my business is by the end of the month. Now, not only do I want to present to somebody every day, I'd like to present to multiple people. That doesn't always work out because with my other business, with my follow-ups, with my other companies that I do, with personal development, handling things, going out to eat, going to get groceries and all the other things people do, it doesn't always work out that I'm able to present to multiple people. But the objective is every single day I try to present to new people. Now, initially, when you first get started, you're going to present to new people that you personally are presenting to. And you constantly want to be presenting whatever you do to new people. And this is the same and true if you're a real estate agent. This is the same and true if you're in insurance. This is the same and true if you're in financial services. The objective is to consistently find somebody new to present whatever you're doing, whatever opportunity it is, whatever you're working on. It's always about presenting to someone new. If you consistently present to someone new, in the massage business, it's like we're constantly looking for the next client, the new person. We're presenting what we do to new people. Brad Davis just jumped on here from Davis Homes. Consistently getting in front of a new realtor, consistently getting in front of a new buyer. You're always wanting to present your product, your program, what you do to someone new. Can you get it in front of somebody new who is looking to buy? Now watch this. It doesn't necessarily mean just got Gary and Frank entered this morning, invited them to this group, awesome. So it's constantly about, getting in front of new people and then tracking it. So tracking it tells everything. Tracking it tells how effective you're being, because obviously if you present on Monday and then you don't present again until Sunday, you miss 6 days. Now, that could be a problem for some people, and that could be a blessing for others. That could mean you're getting ahead. If you only presented to one person last month, and now you're presented to, one person on Monday, one person on Sunday, at least now you're about every 6 days that you're presenting to somebody, which means by the end of the month, how many people are going to present to? 4 or 5? That's an improvement if you only presented to 2. So by tracking, you can actually tell if you're improving. What the problem with most people inside of the industry, not just Legal Shield, not just network marketing, is the problem is the distance between their presentations is so damn long. There's such a big gap in between who they're showing the next person to because they're not keeping track. Now we track what's important. We track what we plan to improve. Tracking gives you the ability to transfer that information to somebody else. If you don't track, all you have is words and intentions, and you're trying to inspire other people. But when I say, look, this is exactly what it took, and I've got a list here, as you can see, of exactly what is going on in the business, how many people we presented to, who we've recruited, how much volume we've done. So I know that, we stayed at, a certain volume for actually too many days. But over the weekend, it didn't actually update. What's happening, Travis? So you want to get in front of new people. How do you do that? Getting in front of new people is everything. If you're not, I know I love superheroes. If you don't have a huge list of people to start with, then what you have to do is you have to start contacting other people. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself out of the way, and I'm actually going to bring Brandy in here to talk about, finding new people, because she moved down here and she didn't really know anybody. The people that we did know, she kind of knew through me. So that gave her a limited amount of people to go talk to, and she wanted to build the business as well. So what we had to do is we had to open the door to leads and the process of leads. And it actually takes a couple more steps to contact and talk to a lead. It takes a couple more steps to talk to somebody on LinkedIn, to talk to somebody on Instagram. I'm going to let her go through the different platforms she's been able to contact people off of, but it's really the same process every time, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing every time.
So I'm going to get out of this seat. I'm going to let you have the chair, the captain's chair.
I get the big chair.
And go through leads, and then where you can find people.
Yep. So, like Jeff said, a lot of the people down here that he already knows. So when we were trying to figure out who we wanted to talk to about this first, I actually went through my Facebook friends list because I have so many contacts on my phone, I don't even bother trying to go through them. Because I also have a lot of my clients on there for our holistic health business. So I was going through Facebook and I went to message a few people and they're like, oh, Jeff already talked to me. And I'm like, well, gosh darn it. So I needed a completely new group of people to talk to. So we decided to do leads, or at least I could do leads while he goes and talks to our friends and everybody else that we know. So the process with leads, we actually buy our leads. Now you can buy leads, you can get leads from Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, you actually have to have conversations with people. So we've talked about form before, where it's F is for friendly, O is for occupation, R is for recreation, and M is for your message, and that's where you go to do the presentation. I gotta throw my phone over here because somebody's called me like 4 times since we started, and it's distracting me. See, I got people calling me. How great is that? So, anywho, I was on form. So after I go through form, I get to know the person. I'm friendly. I know what they do. I know what they like to do outside of work, and I say, hey, can you do me a favor? Can I show you what I'm doing? So just in case if you run into the right person, you can refer me. Now, if I'm talking to another business person, I may ask them, hey, I would also like to know more about what you're doing, and can we trade referrals? That way you're both talking about what you're doing, and it's not coming across as, hey, I'm trying to get you. And you may get a referral from that person, or they may want to do it themselves, and you can ask that at the end of the presentation and say, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, you can refer me, or 10 being you have an interest in this yourself, where are you at? So you're not getting a no at the end of your presentation, but you're getting an answer regardless. Now, if this is also another business person, say they're in painting or they're in real estate, if you do run into somebody, actually send them referrals. Keep a contacts list. Jeff and I actually keep a contacts list of everybody that we've met who does another business. It doesn't matter what it is. I keep it in a database. That way, if I do run into people, I could be like, hey, I actually know this person, then this person. I'd like to connect you with those people. As soon as you do that, you have trust and a little bit of rapport, because they're like, oh, wow, you actually sent me somebody. Most people do not send somebody a lead or get them into contact with people, but if you do it with the intention of doing it for somebody else, you're more likely to have them do it for you. So that is just a little trick that I use. Now, for the leads that we do on the phone, these are cold leads that we have bought, and if you would like to know where we're getting those, we can talk about it at another time, or you can send us a Facebook message and we can tell you what we're doing with that, because I don't have enough time to explain where we're getting it right now. But anywho, so we actually go through and I call actually I don't call, I text everybody first, and I say, hey, this is Brandy, because remember, these are cold leads, they don't know who I am. I'm like, this is Brandy, my office passed me your number, are you still looking for work? And I wait for a reply. Now, you'll get some no's, and you'll get a couple of, who is this, what is this, how'd you get my number? And then I have a couple people that are like, yes, and I'm like, great, do you have time for a quick 15-minute phone interview? Now, the reason I say the phone interview, we like to keep this to where it sounds like a normal job. As soon as you say, are you looking for a business opportunity, or are you looking for a at-home business to run, like, immediately people back off and they're like, okay, this is a scam. Because honestly, I get 3 phone calls like that every day. I'm starting to collect those numbers, by the way, because I'm planning on going back and calling them. Only so I can pitch them what I'm doing, because, you know, if they're going to annoy me all day, I may as well try to sell them something. David's like, yep. So, anywho, when I do the interview, I'm actually pre-qualifying the lead. I want to make sure they have a job and they're looking for part-time work, and I'm making sure they have a phone, which they should have a phone, but sometimes I've found that's not always the case and they're actually borrowing someone's phone, so I need to make sure that they are using their phone and that they have a car. And with the interviewing process, we actually go through just like a normal interview at a job. Like, what did you do? Are you working now? what'd you do before? And I'll actually go back pretty far just so that way I can really get a good idea of who I'm working with. And then what's their communication skills? Are they looking for a career or a job? And I have a list of questions that I run them through. And if they are a good person that I am looking for, who has all those three things and has the drive, who I can see has a drive to do something more, then I'm like, great, I'm going to get you in touch with our sales manager. His name is Jeff Gamble. Is afternoon or evening a good time for him to give you a call? And they'll tell me, and I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to have him talk to you. Oh, wait, no, I missed a step. Sorry, it's early. So after I run them through the interview, I'm like, great, I'm going to tell you who we are, what we do, and the 3 types of people we're looking for. And we have a written out phone script of exactly what I said, who we are, what we do, and the 3 types of people we're looking for. At the end, I'm like, now that you know what we do, out of those 3 people, which do you have an interest in? So we're like the salesperson, product, business to business, or the inside sales rep who trains other people. And I'll ask them which one do they like, and they'll answer me. They're like, oh, I'm really interested in the recruiting. And I'm like, okay, great. And then I'll say, okay, great, I'm going to have Jeff, I'm going to have Jeff contact you, and we're going to set up another time, and he's going to go over a few things, and you can get any questions that you have answered by him. And then I have Jeff follow up with him, and then he'll usually go through how we get paid and how this works. And then by that time, there is a sign up. Now, the reason we have such a long process, not a whole lot of people are going to make a decision right off of the bat. So we have it drawn out a little bit also by using third party. It's somebody else who's not me. So when it kind of confirms that there's somebody else and there's other people doing this. Yeah, it is a simple process, but that's what helps it duplicate, because that way anybody else who's new who comes on board to do this, they can also do it as well. And it's not hard to do, it's just scary at first. So that's what I have of how I go through the leads. And I've done this with multiple people, and actually David's been cranking it as well. Way to go, buddy. And we have quite a few people on our team who are cranking out the leads. Tom is doing great. So it is going down the team, and that's the point of all of this, because if you want to build a solid, profitable business, you need to make sure that whatever you're doing works, but also that it's going to duplicate without you being there. So with that, Jeff, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to finish up here.
Okay. Do you want your chair?
Yeah. Captain Chair's back. So that was awesome about leads and how leads work, but what we're going to talk about here real quick is planning the month before the month begins. My mentor said you should plan the year before the year begins, so that way you know where you're headed. You should plan the, each quarter, you should plan out the month before the month begins. So I actually keep a notebook every single month, and in the very beginning, the very first page, is going to be about, goals and what's going on, trying to figure out what we need to plan out and get done for the month. So there's just a whole list of stuff to get done for the month, and then the next page, I'm actually planning out basically all the volume for the month, like what's going to happen. So keeping track of the volume and who's getting in, and basically that tells me how many people we've recruited. In the beginning, what the best idea is before you have the results coming in that fast, you want to be able to track the activity of what you're doing every single day. So it's not a bad thing to open up the very first page, so you've got both pages, and this side 1 through whatever, and the other side 1 through whatever for the month. And each day you want to just write, okay, what was my activity level? Meaning how many presentations did I do? We can talk about who you talk to on another page, because what most of you do is you don't track it where you can see it all in, one thing. You've got to flip through this note and that note, and it's disorganized and you can't find shit. And then all of a sudden you're confused, I'm confused, we're trying to map things out, and I'm like, well, how many people did you show last month? Well, I don't know, let me look it up. What I have the ability to do is look on this page and be like, okay, this last month, out of the number of people we recruited, and I'll just kind of give you because this tells you what's going on. Shar, I was able to talk to. Dusty, I was able to present to. Tuesday was out of the country with her parents in Guatemala. Grace, I was able to present to. Maureen, I was able to present to. Dwight, I was able to present to and recruit. Tommy, I was able to present to and recruit. Katie and Dave, I was able to present to and sell, not only get in and a business plan and everything. They were in. Kenesha and Demetrius, I was able to recruit. Dr. Ping, I was able to recruit. Audrey, I was able to show. John, I still haven't gotten a hold of and presented to. Jacob, I haven't gotten a hold of. Lauren, I haven't gotten a hold of. Tiffany, I haven't gotten a hold of. Keith, property manager, I haven't gotten a hold of. Maybelle, I haven't gotten a hold of. Denise, we had a conversation, but it just didn't go well, so I was going to let that one go. Judy, I haven't gotten a hold of. Christy, I was able to recruit. Mazel, I haven't been able to talk to yet, but I need to set up a plan with him. Christy, Lawrence, I wasn't able to talk to. Julie, I was able to present to. Rebecca, I was able to present to. Curtis, I was able to talk with, but Josh said that he's going to go talk with, so I kind of left that one up. Julie, I was able to present to, and she was able to give me a lead. Raquel, I haven't talked to yet. April, I haven't talked to yet. Shanae, I wasn't able to go all the way through, but I was able to get information. It's just a wild schedule. Kevin, I haven't talked with yet. Jill, I haven't talked with yet. Jessica, out in Colorado, I haven't talked with yet, but I have a whole list of people I need to talk to in Colorado that I'm going to go through. Andrea down in Florida, I've sent a message, but I haven't heard back. Courtney, I haven't heard back. Shelly, we started to talk, but I haven't gotten the entire program out. Raina, I was able to present to. She's moving back to Carolina, so timing is just totally off. Dr. Chuck, I haven't talked to. Rachel, I haven't talked to. JR, haven't had a conversation with as well. Heather, haven't gotten a hold of. Gabriel, got in. JC got in. Steve got in. Kenny got in after we talked. Chris I still haven't gotten a hold of. Kyle from Colorado, I haven't gotten a hold of. Roger, I was able to present to. Nick, I was able to present to and need to follow up with. Cody, which is Dave's cousin, we had a conversation with. Andy from Wisconsin, I had a conversation with when he flew down to Florida. He was out of town on vacation. We had a good conversation. Brad, I still haven't talked with. And then I just ran into Jack. And that's just part of the people that we've presented to this month. It seems like an enormous amount, but this was just the first 30-some people that I want to go after to talk to. Probably did 25, maybe 30 total presentations, one-on-ones, with people, personals. So in the beginning, what you want to focus on is how many personal people are you presenting to. That's what we do inside. If you say, hey, I'm involved in a company and I'm a recruiter, especially if you're involved in Legal Shield and you're a recruiter, that's what the focus is. The focus is presenting to new people. If you're not presenting to new people, I mean, to put it bluntly, you're not working. You're not working. You're a card-carrying member. You're involved. You might be using your membership. That's awesome. But if you want to actually be in the game, the job is presenting. So let me give you kind of 4 things to end with. When you first get started, your main objective is to get to 15 presentations in a month. That will seem like, if you're only doing 1 or 2, that will seem like, running a mile in 4 minutes. Like, it's going to seem damn near impossible in the beginning, but it is possible for every single person on the planet to present to 15 people. If you don't have 15 people to present to, like Brady said, you're going to have to do leads, you're going to have to use social media, you're going to have to use something else. That's number 1. That's the first type of person. And what we call that's crawling in the business. Now, the reason we call it crawling is 15 presentations might get somebody in, but it's not going to beat attrition. Attrition is the rate at which people get out of the business. You might bring them in, but there's people getting out. So you want to be able to beat attrition. That probably will just maybe equal or just be a little bit behind attrition. The second thing you want to learn how to do is go from 15 presentations to 30 presentations. That will be an easier jump than 0 to 15. 0 to 15 will be the hardest damn thing you ever figure out how to do in your life. When you go from 15 to 30 presentations, we go from crawling to walking. You'll be able to not only beat attrition, but this is where it really starts. You will become a producer. In fact, if you show about 30 presentations, you'll probably be one of the top producers in your company, in any state that exists. You'll probably, be one of the top 100 people in the company with activity of what you're doing. And it doesn't take that much activity to beat everybody in the country in your company. It really doesn't. And this is how you become a personal producer to become a team producer down the road. The next level would be 45 presentations. When you go from 15 to 30 to 45, 45 is an all-out run. You're running. Now, you can sustain a running pace for quite some time, but not indefinitely. There'll be months where you won't be able to run at a 45 pace or more. I would say that's probably about the realm where Brandy and I are at right now, where it's not insanity, but it's close. Every single day. Like today, we've got the call at 11:30, we've got the call at 12. And I'm going to tell you what the schedule is, just to be honest. Like, this is how focused we are, because we're taking some time away from massage to do this. So I'm actually cutting out some money so I can make more. So 11:30, we got this show. 12 o'clock noon, we've got the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. At 1 o'clock, we've got a sit-down sign-up. At 2 o'clock, we have an interview for the massage business. At 3 o'clock, I've got our Facebook Live with Bess. At 4 o'clock, I have a call for Francisco. At 5 o'clock, I have a call from Tom. And at 6 o'clock, I have a sit-down with one of Jonette Grant's. And then I have about 30 people that I have to get back to, including two of Brandy's leads, and then 9 of JC's leads, and then everybody else that I need to talk to. So what we're doing is we're running through the tape, not to the tape. And what that means is that's actually a athletic saying that in track, you don't run. If you're running the 100-mile, or the 100-mile, if you're running the 100-meter, if you're running the 100-mile, you're insane. If you're running the 100 meters, you don't run 100 meters and stop. You run basically 101, 102 meters as fast as you can, because the faster you hit that tape at 100, the more likely you are to win in the end. Don't slow down, speed up. A lot of people get to the end of the month and they slow down. So let me tell you what most people's cycle is they get excited about 2 weeks into the month, because they're like, oh my gosh, it's 2 weeks into the month and I haven't done anything. It's already midway. I got to do something. So they start to work, they start to do something, and then all of a sudden they're a week out from the end of the month and they're depressed again. So that way they stop working and they slow down and they, kick the tires and they read a book and they watch a video and they get depressed and they eat a bowl of ice cream or whatever the hell people do. And then, the month clicks over and they're depressed again and they're like, oh my gosh, what was me? And then about midway through, they go to a seminar or an open house and then they get excited again and they work for another week, and this goes on all year. You just have to get moving immediately. Like, plan next month before the month begins. Meaning tonight, you're taking off time, you're planning out your month, you're figuring out who you're presenting to, you're figuring out how many presentations you're going to do. And again, remember RPM. It's not about how much time you put in. You are not paid for how much time you put in. You're paid for the results you put in. The results, the activity, that's what you have to focus on. What is your activity going to be? Your activity is going to dictate what your results are. So that's what you have to focus on. I don't care if it takes you 15 minutes to present to a person or 2 hours to present to a person. I mean, that person's really going to care because that's too long. But if you're learning how to do it, it doesn't matter. This is just what it takes. So guys, with that, Veronica, hello. What we're going to do is jump off of this, and we're going to jump over to the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. So we're going to go live here in a minute, back on my page with Bess McCarty, and we're going to go over the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. And today we're going over a book called Think and Grow Rich. This is probably one of the most important books that's ever been written when it pertains to money and success. So look forward to that. Brandy, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Have a great end of the month, guys. And we will see you tomorrow. Now, tomorrow we're starting a series, the 21 Qualities of a Leader. The 21 Qualities of a Leader. We're going to go through that all of the month of May. Thank you guys so much.